There was a time when men trusted women without hesitation, when love felt sacred, promises felt real, and loyalty was a given, not a gamble. A man would open his heart like a door left unlocked, believing honesty would be met with honesty. But something changed. Something broke deep inside the male's psyche, and now that door stays closed, not out of hatred, but out of experience. You see, no man is born distrusting women. He learns it, slowly, painfully, through moments that don't look like betrayal at first. A small lie that didn't need to be told. A secret conversation, brushed off as innocent. A promise forgotten when convenience arrived. One by one, these moments carve lessons into his soul, until one day he stops believing words. Not because he wants to, but because his heart simply refuses to be fooled again. Men today don't distrust women because they're cold. They distrust them because they've seen too much. They've seen the way affection changes with attention, how loyalty bends under temptation, and how modern love often expires faster than commitment can grow. They've seen women swear they want stability, then chase chaos the moment peace becomes too quiet. They've seen genuine effort replaced with games, and truth replaced with performance. This isn't anger. It's exhaustion. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't break things. It just fades. It's the tired sigh of a man who gave his all and watched honesty become an outdated language. And now, when he looks at love, he doesn't see warmth anymore. He sees risk, because modern men have learned something brutal, that trust isn't broken in one moment. It's eroded over time, by half-truths, by almost honest answers, by every "don't overthink it" that covered something he should have known. He doesn't hate women. He just fears the version of love that hurts quietly, the one that teaches you how dangerous belief can be. At first, he still believes. He still gives the benefit of the doubt. He tells himself, not every woman is like that. He silences his instincts because he wants to be fair. He ignores the small red flags, the phone flipped face down, the vague answers, the shifting tone, because he doesn't want to be that guy, the one who doubts too soon. But every time his trust is betrayed, something inside him changes. Not loudly, quietly. The man who once shared everything now shares nothing. The man who once listened with open eyes now studies every word like evidence. He's not paranoid, he's trained by experience to protect what's left of his peace. This is what most people don't understand. When a man loses trust, he doesn't just stop believing in her. He starts questioning himself. He wonders how he missed the signs, how he ignored the warnings, how he kept believing in people who kept proving him wrong. And that's the cruelest part. Betrayal doesn't just destroy trust in others, it destroys trust in your own judgment. So now, love feels dangerous. Every compliment sounds rehearsed. Every promise feels temporary. Every "I love you" comes with invisible terms and conditions. He's not angry, he's alert. And alert men don't love freely, they love carefully. He used to fall in love through words. Now he watches for patterns. He used to trust what he felt. Now he measures what he sees. Because men learned something the hard way, that in a world full of masks, believing too quickly isn't romance anymore. It's self-destruction. And so, love slowly turns into caution. Not because he stopped caring, but because caring became the most dangerous thing he ever did. Now, before he gives his heart, he first asks one quiet question. Can I trust her? Or will this be the lesson I didn't need again? Modern relationships are no longer built on trust. They're built on illusion. A man learns this the hard way. He realizes that in today's world, honesty isn't a virtue. It's a weakness. Everyone says they want truth, but they reward performance. So people start performing, especially in love. She posts quotes about loyalty while texting someone else behind the scenes. She speaks about communication while deleting entire conversations. She says, "You can trust me," but leaves a trail of doubt wherever she goes. And he sees it, not through proof, but through instinct. Because no matter how clever the lies, energy never lies. This is the double life that modern men fear most. The one that looks perfect in public but feels wrong in private. She's smiling in pictures, tagging him in posts, but her eyes are somewhere else, far away, distant, unreachable. She says she's tired, but her phone never rests. She says she loves him, but her attention belongs to the world. And every time he brings it up, he's labeled insecure. He's told to trust more, to stop overthinking. But how can he, when the same world that tells her to love him also tells her she deserves better, more excitement, more validation? He's fighting not another man, but an entire system built to make her feel unsatisfied. It's not about jealousy, it's about erosion. When everything is a performance, how can trust survive? When every like, every message, every picture becomes emotional currency, how can any man feel secure in loyalty that's always up for sale? That's the modern double life, where commitment is posted online, but curiosity stays unlocked, where women want attention and men want peace, where one scroll can undo years of faith. And so men retreat, not because they hate love, but because they've learned something tragic, that loyalty today ends the moment validation begins. When trust dies, something inside a man doesn't just break, it rebuilds itself. Piece by piece, his brain rewires. He stops reacting emotionally. He stops explaining his pain. He stops trying to be understood, because he's learned. Understanding doesn't protect you. Distance does. The same heart that once leapt at a message now stays calm. The same mind that once overthought now observes. He's no longer driven by love, he's driven by self-preservation. Not because he's cold, but because pain became his teacher. Every betrayal creates a scar, and every scar becomes armor. He used to believe that love was the cure for loneliness. Now he knows sometimes love is the reason for it. And that realization changes everything. He becomes careful with his time. He stops chasing. He stops convincing anyone of his worth. He starts measuring people by consistency, not chemistry, because chemistry fades, but patterns never lie. And the irony is, the calmer he becomes, the colder the world calls him. When he speaks less, they say he's detached. When he trusts less, they say he's bitter. But no one saw the countless nights he blamed himself for believing words that were never real. This is what emotional evolution looks like. He's not broken. He's calibrated. He's learned that peace is worth more than passion, and silence is safer than false promises. So now he watches from a distance, not out of fear, but out of clarity. He knows what fake love feels like. He's memorized its rhythm, its timing, its patterns, and because of that, he'll never mistake noise for meaning again. This is the rewiring. A man who once trusted blindly now trusts selectively, not out of ego, but out of survival. Because once you've been betrayed by the person you protected most, you don't stop loving. You just stop giving people the power to destroy you twice. We are living in an age where love is no longer innocent. It's defensive. Men don't fall anymore, they calculate. Before they give their hearts, they run silent risk assessments. They weigh loyalty against history, affection against consistency, and words against actions. It's not because they want control. It's because they've seen what happens without it. They've seen how quickly affection turns into manipulation, how fast "I miss you" becomes "you owe me." So they build walls not to keep love out, but to protect what's left of their soul inside. This is the new psychology of modern men. Love with conditions, connection with caution. Because when trust becomes rare, intimacy becomes a threat. And no man wants to hand his peace over to someone who treats it like an experiment. He used to give freely. Now he observes first. How does she react when she doesn't get attention? How does she behave when he says no? Those answers tell him more than any promise ever could. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Men have learned that betrayal doesn't start with cheating. It starts with entitlement. It starts when gratitude fades and every act of love becomes expected instead of appreciated. So they love differently now. They no longer chase validation. They protect energy. They no longer beg to be understood. They choose silence. They no longer search for forever. They search for peace. Because experience has taught them that loyalty is rare and peace is priceless. And when you understand that, you stop chasing butterflies and start planting gardens inside yourself. At some point, every man reaches a quiet truth. Peace feels better than passion. Because passion fades, but peace stays. And the more he lives, the more he understands. Trust doesn't grow in words, it grows in consistency. He doesn't want drama anymore. He doesn't want the constant testing, the suspicion, the apologies. He just wants stillness, a place where his heart can rest without needing to prove its worth every day. That's why men have stopped trusting easily, not because they've lost the ability to love, but because they've learned that peace is rarer than beauty, and loyalty is quieter than promises. The modern man no longer chases excitement. He chases clarity. He doesn't want to be addicted to someone's attention. He wants to be safe in someone's silence. He's not afraid of love. He's afraid of pretending. Because pretending costs more than heartbreak. It costs self-respect. So he chooses differently now. He trusts slowly. He moves deliberately. And when he finds peace, he guards it like treasure. Because once a man has been betrayed for being genuine, he no longer looks for love that burns bright. He looks for love that doesn't burn him. And that's the psychology of why men don't trust women anymore. Not bitterness, not hate, just the wisdom of experience. The understanding that peace is the only thing that never lies. After enough lessons, men stop announcing their pain. They stop explaining, stop defending, stop trying to make anyone understand. They don't yell, they don't beg, they just walk away. And that's what terrifies people. A man who leaves in silence. He's no longer seeking revenge or closure. He's seeking distance because he knows that peace doesn't live in explanations. It lives in absence. You can tell when a man is done. It's not in his words, it's in his eyes. He stops checking the phone, stops waiting for change, stops fighting for what's already gone. He smiles more, talks less, and quietly disappears. This is what people call coldness. But it's not cold, it's clarity. He finally sees the truth of modern love, that trust isn't broken in one betrayal. It's chipped away by 1,000 small lies. Now, he doesn't need anyone to prove loyalty. He doesn't test or chase. He simply watches. Because a man who has mastered silence has mastered control. And when he walks away, he doesn't look back. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's learned. You can't rebuild trust in a place that keeps breaking it. So he leaves quietly, peacefully, and permanently. And in that silence, he doesn't lose, he reclaims himself. After everything, a man doesn't stop believing in love. He just becomes selective about who he believes. He no longer sees trust as a default. He sees it as something to be earned. He doesn't fall for beauty, words, or charm anymore. He falls for consistency, silence, and peace. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for genuineness. The kind of woman who says less and means more, who values loyalty over likes, presence over promises, and effort over excitement. When he meets her, he doesn't rush. He observes her tone when she's angry, her choices when no one's watching, how she treats what she can't benefit from. Because that's where real character hides. He gives slowly now, deliberately. Every step is measured, every word tested. Because trust built fast collapses faster. And the man who learned through pain refuses to build anything fragile again. He's not bitter. He's evolved. He knows the true love isn't found. It's recognized. It's quiet, mature, unpredictably simple. It doesn't demand trust. It earns it, daily. So when he finally gives his heart again, it won't be out of need. It will be out of choice. Not to fill a void, but to share his peace. And that's when love finally becomes what it was always meant to be. Not a battlefield, but a home. After all the chaos, something unexpected happens. One day, a man wakes up and realizes that losing trust wasn't the end. It was the beginning of self-respect. He stopped searching for loyalty in others and started practicing it with himself. He no longer waits for honesty. He embodies it. He no longer needs validation. He earns it through peace. And slowly, trust returns. Not in others first, but in his own judgment, his own boundaries, his own intuition. That's redemption. Not rebuilding what was broken, but becoming the kind of man who can't be broken the same way twice. Now, when he meets someone new, he's not scared. He's steady. He's no longer trying to be understood. He's observing whether the person in front of him deserves to be understood at all. He has learned the final law of love. The trust isn't given, it's mirrored. You get it from those who live like you do, calmly, honestly, and without games. And that's how men heal. Not through revenge, not through avoidance, but through evolution, by becoming wiser than their wounds. So when you see a man who moves quietly, who smiles without needing to prove, who loves without losing himself, you're not looking at someone who doesn't trust women. You're looking at someone who finally trusts himself more than anyone else.